Responders have to be prepared for just about anything these days, including a nuclear emergency. So what better place to seek out hidden radiation than the Nevada test site, where years of nuclear testing make it a pretty hot zone. I-Team reporter Mark Sayre went deep inside the test site, joins us tonight with a look at some very unique training, wasn't it?
Indeed, Dave. And you ask any veteran firefighter, police officer, and a nuclear response was definitely not part of rookie training, but those days are over. Since 9/11, the Nevada test site has hosted thousands of first responders to teach them the basics of radiation. And one of the very first goals is to overcome an emotion that is nearly synonymous with the term nuclear: fear.
3, 2, 1, 0.
When you think of the Nevada test site, these images are probably what come to mind.
House number 1 as the blast hits it.
From 1951 through 1962, the United States conducted more than 100 above-ground nuclear tests. Today, the background radiation here is still more than 10 times normal. The perfect place to play a high-stakes game of nuclear hide-and-seek.
We're checking for gamma at a rate of 500 microrems per hour.
You are on nuclear patrol with Tom Rabb from the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police.
Climbing, 400. Okay, right here.
Like so many first responders,
there it is. Got a source right here.
Rabb says this kind of training is essential in today's security climate.
In law enforcement, homeland security, terrorism, terrain's changing. Our jobs are changing. We're being tasked with more and more things. Homeland security being one of them. Radiation's a definite concern.
We're going to have you check this vehicle here also.
The National Nuclear Security Administration runs this program with a grant from the Department of Homeland Security.
Working your way into norms and also taking care of the TARs.
At this mock city deep inside the test site, the nation's first responders are searching for hidden nuclear sources.
It's not too obvious.
I got 500 over on my side. I may be in a beam.
For Fire Captain John Bostwick,
1,500 in the cab.
Radiation is a challenge he simply never considered as a rookie firefighter.
So we have a point source, it seems to be.
Today, Bostwick leads the hazmat unit of the Prescott, Arizona Fire Department.
In my small community, we're trying to get our team up to being able to respond to any type of terrorist attack in the United States, at least in our area.
The radioactive sources are placed in areas that police or firefighters might encounter on everyday calls. The radiation source, called cesium-137, is inside this container. Once this cap is popped off, it actually sends out a radioactive beam that the students can detect from dozens of feet away.
And make sure you guys pay attention to safety. We don't want to get any unnecessary exposure.
Smitty Smith is a class instructor.
What teams do we have here?
Smith says radiation sources are placed to simulate the effects of a radiation dispersal device, or RDD, also called a dirty bomb.
If there was an incident like an RDD or a dirty bomb, and we had locals or just everyday people become contaminated, and then they went to go about what they normally do without knowing they were contaminated.
A dirty bomb is any conventional explosive laced with radioactive material. They can come in many forms, like this one discovered in Moscow in 1995.
Turn the meter on.
The main tool of the trade is what's technically called a Ludlum-14C nuclear detector.
What is the primary purpose of pancake probe? When would you use it?
Decon.
The terminology is technical.
We're on .1.
Okay, that's right. So it's 100 microR per hour.
For Brady Johnson from the Birmingham, Alabama Fire Department, the class takes some of the mystery and the fear out of radiation.
You know that you're not going to be disintegrated if you walk through the radiation beam. I mean, there's a certain amount of time that you have to operate.
By the time this group leaves here after a full week of classroom and field experience,
so I have confidence that if I had to do something like that my instrument is correct and I can do what I need to do.
They are expected to return to their hometowns with knowledge gathered through a half a century of nuclear experience at the test site.
Reports indicate that these are the greatest concern of the average citizen and soldier.
Each class lasts for a full week, a combination of classroom instruction and field training. The program costs taxpayers about $30 million each year. That is money that comes directly from the Department of Homeland Security. And Dave, it goes without saying that while these men and women who were at the site the week we were there learned a lot, they certainly hope that they do not have to apply those skills in their real-world jobs. But they
nice
say,
to know they've been trained.
Yeah, and they have a basic understanding before the real professionals show up.
Great story. Thanks, Mark.
The next in